to get my dick a hickey. Had to get it out the mud, no wonder why I'm filthy rich. And I'm running through this money like it don't mean nothing to me. I might buy the highest bottle like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I buy 20 bottle worth of clothes like it ain't nothing. Drop 100,000 like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I go and buy a brand new car like it ain't nothing. Buy a new crib like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I go and buy a bad bitch like it ain't nothing. Put 100 on, man, it ain't nothing. When you get money, spend it. Pull up in a low rider, two hoes behind us. Police say that they can smell it, but I make sure they don't find it. Hit the corner, slide the ass, Young Khalifa about his cash. About to build another whip, and I ain't even got it brag. 3-wheeling, got that bitch leaning. Young Khalifa got the women screaming. Done deal. When I pull up, it's a done deal. Lift the trunk, still rolling up, and I got one in the front, two in the back. Do what I want, don't need to relax. King of my city, I'm looking to show him I cannot be even 3-wheeling the traffic. It's 61 I'm building, about to be a classic. I'm reppin' Taylor Gang, they asking paper and plastic. Buy the highest bottle like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I buy 20 bottle worth of clothes like it ain't nothing. Drop 100,000 like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I go and buy a brand new car like it ain't nothing. Buy a new crib like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I go and buy a bad bitch like it ain't nothing. Put 100 on, man, it ain't nothing. When you get money, spend it. Check this out. Getting paid like ghosts do. In the street and the club too. Designer everything. Ric Flair. I can buy the rap game. Brick Flair. Not a bar. Smoke the caviar. I'm in the finest car. Push the star. I glow in the dark. I run up the chart. Red bone vanilla. Freaky bra. She gon' keep me hard. Black card. Better play it smart. Nigga, we in charge. Get paid. Young nigga get paid. And I run the game like a fucking arcade. If we talking money, then I gotta raise. Drink so strong, they think I got it laid. Buy the highest bottle like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I buy 20 bottle worth of clothes like it ain't nothing. Drop 100,000 like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I go and buy a brand new car like it ain't nothing. Buy a new crib like it ain't nothing. Bitch, I go and buy a bad bitch like it ain't nothing. Put 100 on, man, it ain't nothing. When you get money, spend it, it ain't nothing. Mafia.
Привет. Привет, Таша, привет, как дела?
time. Get a rollie on the wrist shine. Used to walk on a thin line. Now it's no more stress for months. And cold champagne for lunch. Big time. Get a rollie on the wrist shine. Used to walk on a thin line. Now it's no more stress for months. And cold champagne for lunch. A little buzz in the afternoon. Tell little drunk bitches meet me at the room. Backyard looking just like Tulum. Close 100 million on a random Zoom. Today is a
I'm setting up the stream.
Hundred bands, I keep it 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Book me, that's 100 bands. My whip costs 100 bands, 100 bands. I keep it 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Book me, that's 100 bands. My whip costs 100.
Fisting is $300. Fisting is $300.
100 bands, I keep it 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Book me, that's 100 bands. My whip costs 100 bands, 100 bands. I keep it 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Book me, that's 100 bands. My whip costs 100. For them real niggas, this ain't for them fakers. This is for them tailors. 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 This is cause I want it. This is for them fuck a bitch nigga and a hater. This is for them tailors. This is for them tailors. For them real niggas, this ain't for them fakers. This is for them tailors. 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 This is cause I want it. This is for them fuck a bitch nigga and a hater. This is for them tailors. This is for them tailors.
When we thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not. If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate the fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world, we lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A sixth, an eighth, a tenth, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
I know everyone thinks I'm being silly, but I can't shake the feeling we're being watched.
We are being watched. By Juno. Or some version of her.
Do you think it's a recording? Or is she a ghost? Or something else? Is she talking to us the way Minerva talked to Ezio?
No clue. I mean, who knows what else they were working on down here? There's still so many rooms we don't have access to.
But do you think she's like literally down here, waiting somewhere, still alive?
Still alive? That's mental. That I mean she'd be at least 75, 80,000 years old? Well, powerful, yeah, but not that powerful.
They came down here looking for a way to survive. Maybe they found one. Was it weird seeing Cross?
What do you mean?
It's different for you. You don't know about what happened, I guess. For a long time, he was important to us. He was a different person.
Sean said he was a sleeper agent. Like Lucy.
It was different. She made a choice, but Cross, if you read the files, Abstergo just... They did terrible things to him.
Rebecca?
You're lucky. We all are. We have people who care about us, who look out for us. He was all alone, and the people he thought he could trust, they used him.
Did you know him?
No, but I knew Hannah.
Who's that?
She tried to help him. She trusted him. But there was a raid about a year ago. She stayed behind so the others could escape. Tried to reason with him to see if she could fix things.
Well, what happened?
What do you think happened? He killed her. That's what he does. That's all he knows how to do. Sometimes it seems like that's all any of us know how to do.
Rebecca.
I just want to be alone right now.
Son, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. You have to understand, I've never been very good at this. Never mind that we live rather extraordinary lives.
Yeah, I kinda liked my ordinary one.
You can't escape who you are, Desmond.
So I've noticed.
Look, it's silly for us to go back and forth like this. I admit, I did a shitty job raising you. I apologize, I'm sorry. But it's important you understand it didn't come from a bad... Son, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. You have to understand, I've never been very good at this. Never mind that we live rather extraordinary lives.
Yeah, I kinda liked my ordinary...
Ah, Desmond, there you are. Can I ask a favor?
Maybe?
When this is all over, I'd like to try turning the dial back on the Animus. Like, all the way back. To the time of the first civilization.
You think it would work?
There was no real loss of fidelity when you visited Altair. Then again, that was about 1,000 years ago, and I'm looking at going back at least 70,000 more.
Sure, I'd be up for it. Be interesting to see what things were like back then.
Excellent. I think it would prove most enlightening. So this is how it started.
What are you up to?
Just brushing up on my American history. Well, I say history. They certainly teach you strange things in the States.
Like what?
Well, for all the talk of this being a revolutionary war, it was a civil one. Well, not that kind of civil. I mean, there was no America versus Britain. It was Brit on Brit action. And you can clearly see how the whole thing got started. One war gave birth to the other.
You mean the 7 Years' War?
Exactly. Seems the Crown overspent in its attempt to keep the French out, wound up with a great deal of debt. Believing that the colonists should help to shoulder the burden, new taxes were created. It was a reasonable request, even if Parliament was rather, well, undiplomatic about it.
Well, it's not really fair to tax people for a war they didn't want any part of.
What? Didn't want any part of? Did you not notice George Washington with Edward Braddock? He was right there in the middle of it. So here you have the Crown spending who knows how much money to secure a place for the colonists to thrive, and then, when they ask for a little bit of help... Right, look, think of it this way. King George and the colonists, they all go out to dinner, right? And when the bill comes, George asks for them to kick in and pay their share. Fair enough. Now keep in mind, he's been taking them out to dinner gratis for decades now. But the colonists, oh no, they insist they only had a glass of water and a side salad. Never mind the table's full of half-eaten food and empty bottles of wine. Now, when the king points this out, what do the colonists do? Oh, they flip the table over and they storm out the restaurant. Probably intending to return later and burn it down.
You left out the part where the king pointed a gun at the colonists and asked them to cover dinner for everyone in the restaurant.
Right, yeah, interesting take. If he pulled out a gun, and I'm not sure he did, it would only have been after the 100th failed attempt at getting them to pay their fair share.
But how do you define someone's fair share?
Oh, well, with a war, apparently. I wonder how many other places like this exist.
There are dozens of them, all over the world.
And somehow no one's ever found one before us.
I don't think that's true.
Oh?
When I was at Abstergo, Vidic talked about silencing discoveries made by non-Templars. And I'm sure Abstergo has dug up plenty.
The things they must know.
Regretting throwing in with us?
No. Just looking forward to when we can finally trounce those bastards so I can dive into their archives. Oh, I think I found a lead on another power source.
Good luck, Desmond.
These are troubled times. The already uneasy alliance between the Crown and its subjects frays. And behind them both the Templars plot, pulling strings and moving pieces. History dictates they seek order through control. But how will they affect it here? Who supports them? And what conspiracies have they already spun?
Spare a
All
moment.
these things I must determine.
Of course.
For
Have a
only by
look.
knowing my enemy can I hope to stop
What is
them.
it? Xingbao, or rope dart if you prefer. One of the many plans given to us by Xiao Yun to...
Sorry.
We'll have to work on this.
Ganondogo,
Yes, my friend.
what brings you here? Is the village all right?
For now.
What do you mean? What has happened?
Men came, claiming we had to leave. They said that the land was being sold, and that the Confederacy had consented. We sent an envoy, but they would not listen.
You must refuse!
We cannot oppose the Sachem, but you're right as well. We cannot give up our home.
Do you have a name? Do you know who is responsible?
He is called William Johnson.
Where is Johnson now?
In Boston, making preparations for the sale.
Sale! This is theft!
Kana, take care. These men are powerful.
What would you have me do? I made a promise to my people.
If you insist upon this course of action, seek out Sam Adams in Boston. He'll be able to help. What have you done?
When my people go to war, a hatchet is buried into a post to signify its start. When the threat is ended, the hatchet is removed.
You could have used a tree.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
And I'm talking about more than a sternly worded letter.
I sympathize with your frustrations, gentlemen, but surely you can understand. Ah, Connor. Hello again. What brings you to Boston?
You.
Would you excuse us, fellows? You. That conversation was about to turn unpleasant. Now, what can I do for you?
I was hoping you could help me locate William Johnson.
Of course. I'm headed to a meeting with some men who should be able to help. Why don't you come along? It's good to see the people finally taking a stand against injustice.
Says the man who owns a slave.
Ooh, sorry? I practice what I preach, my friend. She's not a slave, but a freed woman, at least on paper. Men's minds are not so easily turned. It's a tragedy that for all our progress, still we cling to such barbarism.
Then speak out against it.
We must focus first on defending our rights. When this is done, we'll have the luxury of addressing these other matters.
You speak as though your condition is equal to that of the slaves. It is not.
Tell that to my neighbor who was compelled to quarter British troops, or to my friend whose store was closed because he displeased the crown. The people here are no...
Hey! It's my home, no matter what you thieves called taxmen say! If the gums in Parliament who want to take my property, you tell them to sail across the pond and take it themselves!
It's not open for discussion now! Open this door or these men will break it down! Ah!
Ah, bollocks! We're coming in! I trust the mounting evidence is proof enough, Connor.
Continue on. I shall meet you at our destination.
Is that all you have?
Abetting the criminal will result in automatic incrimination and subsequent punishment. If you see anything like the crime... If there's anything you need that I don't have, I'll find it for you.
Connor, I'd like you to meet some like-minded friends. The owner of this fine establishment, William Molyneux, and the manager and chef of his newest venture, Stéphane Chaffeau.
Ah, Connor and I just had a ball with some redcoats enforcing some taxmen outside my home.
The collectors grow bolder and more forceful. Something we must address, Samuel.
Then let us raise a banner. Something to let the people know that they are not alone. The docks are an angry place of late. Protesters picketing the latest shipments of British tea. The eyes of the city are upon that stage.
A Bostonian without his tea is a dangerous beast.
William Johnson is smuggling the tea off the ships. One of his men tried to sell me this. A sample of what I refused. But it's from those ships. No mistaking the stamp. He's charging a king's ransom. Must be he's making a mint off those who buy it.
Where is he now?
I've never met the man.
May I ask why you seek him, Connor?
He intends to purchase the land upon which my village stands, without the consent of my people.
No doubt the revenue from his little smuggling endeavor is financing the acquisition. A tax enforced on tea grants a boon to smugglers. I'll wager the same men who levy the taxes are selling the tea. A stage requires a spectacle, and I may know the play. Connor, head back to the docks and see to the destruction of the tea. If you should need us, return here.
Pardon me.
Come on, mate.
stink.
A warning from the Watch Commander. Any caught abetting...
I'm not going to get a
and walked out with the collection. He'd obviously fallen over.
Hey! Get up! I will.
It's over there!
Has he gone mad?
You're dead! Who's in on it? You! Halt! Coward! Get back! Oh, shit. Ah! So slow! Lend me a hand here! Don't lose sight of him! There! After him! You get back here! Stop it! No, I beg of you, to spare me. I am no threat. Oh, please.
Get that blackguard!
natural, Pete.
Is a fit physical specimen. Don't kill me! I'm harmless!
I have everything you need from nature's garden. Here's a rough fellow. Calm yourself.